Hey cultivator, welcome back to my channel. So in today's video, I want to chat to those of you who specifically know that you want to make a career pivot. Maybe you want to reinvent your entire career, maybe go for this new title, this new industry, this new opportunity, yet you are so terrified of making a move that you end up not doing it, even though deep down inside you know you want to do it. So if this sounds like you at all, I'm going to be talking and breaking down the 3 blocks that I see hold job seekers back from pursuing what they really want, and what you can be doing to shift into action versus just dismissing it and hoping that this urge and this feeling goes away, even though you know that it's truly the thing that you want to orient yourself towards. Before we dive in case you have not yet liked this video and subscribed, be sure to do that because we release a new mindset, job search advice, career advice video every single Thursday on this channel. And without further ado, let's dive in. Alright, so the first mindset block that I want to address is called the sunk cost fallacy. And what this states is that oftentimes we are so worried that we are losing something that we invested so much time and resources and possibly money and energy into. And so to walk away from that seems like it would just be such a sunk cost, like I'm losing out on so much because of all of this. But that is simply not true. An example of this is I talked to a lot of attorneys who, they invested 3 years into getting their JD, and they probably have spent over hundreds of thousands of dollars in tuition, only to realize that, I no longer want to be an attorney anymore. So to walk away from that, and especially if they spent, the past 3, 5, 10 years of their career in this one area, it could feel really scary, like I'm just letting all of that go. But the truth of the matter is, and the reason why it's called a fallacy, is because that is simply not true. And what is really true is that time period and that education and that experience has served its purpose, but now you're just simply ready for something new and something different to bring forth to your life, and you can absolutely leverage all of what you have obtained towards this new opportunity. Another example I like to give around this is when we're renting, right? We might have heard this false assumption that when you rent a house, you're essentially just throwing away money versus buying a house. But actually, you don't actually break even in terms of all your closing costs, your taxes, your real estate fees, your commission brokerage until you've lived in a house for 5 years. But what is true is while you're renting, sure, you're not building equity, but you're paying for that roof over your head, right? So the same thing applies when you are working in a job. You have been accumulating income, benefits. Maybe you have 401k that is starting to build up as well. All of these things have served its purpose, and what you really want to focus on is how did that serve me during that time period? And at the same time, how is this experience going to help me in the future? Or what is it that I can walk away with? So getting clarity on that can ease up a lot of the limitations that we impose on ourselves when we're afraid of losing something. Because in fact, we've gained already, and now it's a matter of what else do we want to gain moving forward. The second mindset block that I hear a lot is what I like to call future worrying. And this is really where you're just constantly thinking about the hypotheticals that haven't even happened, so you don't even know if they're 100% true. You might think about things like, what if I fail? What if I get rejected? What if I don't like it? What if this is the wrong decision? What if this is something that I regret in the future? There's all of these questions that come up when we experience something that we haven't yet anticipated. That anxiety and that worry just kind of fuels itself on its own, and it feels very, very real and powerful. But again, it's just thinking about the worst case scenarios, and that may not even pan out. So anytime you are feeling like you're losing sleep, or you're anxious, or holding yourself back over something because you're worried about it or fearful of it, and yet you have zero evidence that it's happening 100%, one of the most powerful questions that you can ask yourself is, what is the best thing that can happen? Or why would I regret not doing this? Or if I continued on this same path for the next year, how would I feel? And really start to tap into what it is that you do know about yourself and what it is that is possible. Because again, a lot of our anxiousness, our worries are worst case scenarios that usually don't pan out. Now, that being said, if there are real life events that you are worried about, my suggestion to you is to come up with, what do you need as a safety net in place? So for instance, maybe you're a pharmacist that no longer wants to be a pharmacist, but instead you want to go into starting your own brand. So what if you fail? What if you end up not making any money, right? Those could be legitimate concerns. So what is it that you'll do as a safety net in place so that you can comfortably and confidently step into what it is that you really want to do? When you have that safety net in place and you start to differentiate between what is actually true and what is just a worry or fear, you can start to come up with better solutions to the problems that are arising versus, again, just staying stagnant and paralyzed thinking about what you want to do but never taking any action. All right, the third and final block that I want to tackle is a very common one, and this is falling under the blanket of scarcity mindset. So scarcity mindset really operates from a very binary place of like yes or no. It's very black and white. There's not really an in-between, whereas an abundance mindset is really focused on everything and anything in between and just recognizes that there's so many opportunities in front of us if we make ourselves available to it. So if you are trying to find something new, I hear oftentimes, for example, I am a nonprofit and I'm really worried that there's no corporation that is going to hire me for a project manager because I don't have any experience. If you find yourself thinking like that, I would start to tap into the possibilities and start seeking out the evidence of, well, hold on, let me see who has made a transition from nonprofit to for-profit in the past. Maybe through your research, maybe through asking questions to people, asking if they know of anyone, or poking around on LinkedIn, you actually start to see, wow, there's people who have made this transition. So again, if they could do it, why can't you? I always look at the possibilities. I always try to find evidence to seek out what I would like to believe, because really everything is just a self-fulfilling prophecy. So if you don't feel or believe that you can make this transition, you're going to make that into your reality and you're going to seek out evidence that supports that. But if you are really wanting to lean into, I really want to make this transition, I really want to get inspired and see who else has done something very similar, you will always find on this planet of, I forget how many billions of people. That's a lot of people that can really show the possibilities and the infinite amounts of opportunities that are out there. So I really encourage you to kind of expand your viewpoint, because a lot of us are really zeroed in on what it is that we know, and what we see and what we observe and what we feel on a daily basis is not necessarily what is happening in the bigger picture when we zoom out all the way and we are really looking at things from the 30,000 foot level. Let me know in the comment box down below which one of these 3 mindset blocks have come up for you as you think about your career direction, and most importantly, what is it that you're going to do to start shifting out of that? I'd love to hear it in the comments, and if you enjoyed this video, please like it, comment, share, subscribe, because we're going to be releasing this video next week. And until then, I hope you continue to cultivate your life and your career. Take care.